refused my family's arranged marriage and lost everything but my freedom. You will marry him on your 18th birthday, it's already decided. My father's words hung in the air like a death sentence. I was 16, sitting at our dining table where generations of women in my family had received the same news. The man in the photo he'd slid across to me was Elliot Chambers, 37, heir to a banking fortune, and my father's newest business partner in the Blackwood family. First daughters weren't raised, they were groomed as assets. For over a century, every first daughter had been married off to secure business alliances, strengthen family connections, or simply increase wealth. My great-grandmother to a steel magnate, my grandmother to a senator's son, my mother to my father, merging two old money dynasties. They all told me the same thing: love comes later, duty comes first. I spent the next year watching my future shrink before my eyes. My college applications were lost in the mail. My passport mysteriously disappeared. My mother started taking me to fittings for a wedding dress I hadn't agreed to wear. The breaking point came during my first chaperoned date with Elliot. Over dinner at a restaurant my father owned, Elliot casually mentioned how he expected me to drop out of my senior year to prepare for managing his household. Education is wasted on wives, he said, sipping his third scotch. Besides, you'll be too busy giving me sons. That night, I made a decision that would cost me everything I'd ever known. I contacted my debate team partner Leah, whose family had always treated me with a warmth mine never showed. They agreed to hide me after graduation while I figured out my next steps. For 6 months, I worked 2 jobs while secretly applying to colleges across the country. When my acceptance letter and scholarship to Marty arrived, I felt hope for the first time in years. 3 days before my planned escape, I found my 14-year-old sister Violet crying in her room. A photo of a 42-year-old business associate was on her nightstand. "They've already started," she whispered. "Mom says I should be grateful he's rich." In that moment, my plan changed. I wasn't just saving myself anymore. The night before my 18th birthday, the day before my scheduled wedding, Violet and I climbed out her bedroom window with nothing but backpacks containing our most precious possessions. Leah was waiting in her car 2 blocks away. My family's response was swift and absolute. They reported me for kidnapping Violet, though the police quickly dropped the case when she testified she left willingly. They froze the small trust fund my grandmother had left me. They told everyone I'd had a mental breakdown and been institutionalized. My father's final message was simple: "You are no longer a Blackwood. Do not contact us again." The first year was brutal, working retail while taking night classes, Shank a tiny apartment with Leah and Violet, jumping at every knock on the door, fearing my father's private investigators. But slowly we built a life. Violet thrived in a public high school where she could actually have friends. I earned my engineering degree, then my master's. 10 years later, I am a senior engineer at a renewable energy company. Violet is in medical school. Last month, I received a letter from my mother, the first contact in a decade. My father had died, leaving everything to my younger brother. She was living in the guest house now, having been replaced by a newer, younger wife. "I should have run when I had the chance," she wrote. "You were braver than I ever was." At the bottom was a photo of my wedding day, the one that never happened, my mother in a designer dress, smiling beside my stone-faced father, Elliot, looking impatient, and an empty space where the bride should have been. I showed Violet the photo. "Do you ever regret it?" she asked, giving up everything. I thought about the family name, the wealth, the security I'd abandoned. That I looked at my sister, brilliant, free, charting her own course, and knew the answer. I didn't give up everything, I told her. I just traded the things they valued for the things that actually matter. Sometimes breaking a toxic tradition costs you a family, but sometimes it helps you build a better one.